All right. Now, over the last 2 years, we've all used some really big, badass guns in Destiny. Everything from the Gallahorn to the Last Word. And I gotta tell you, there's a lot of guns in between that I love, but there's one gun class that really is underrated in Destiny, if you ask me, and that is the hand cannons. They call it a hand cannon, hence hand and fucking cannon. It's meant to wreck face. It's not meant to tickle your enemies. It's meant to blow them to fucking pieces, which is what a lot of them do very well. Now, in one of the latest expansions, I got the Hake Garish D. I'm probably butchering the hell out of how that's supposed to be said, and I don't care. The point is that it is a really cool tactical hand cannon that I really like. Now, the gun really wasn't that great until you started infusing some better stuff into it, making it really, really deadly. Now, I wanted to 3D print this gun for a while, but I never really got around to doing it. Now, recently, that has changed, and I have to say, I was quite shocked when I 3D printed this gun because it is by far the biggest hand cannon I've ever made. It makes Hellboy's Good Samaritan hand cannon look like a... Well, actually, it's probably bigger than his gun. And this is supposed to be fired by a somewhat amplified human. I don't know, but we're going to find out. So I put this on the printer 2 days ago. It took a total of 32 hours to print, which actually wasn't bad. Took a total of 412 grams, and here we go. We've got the Garish D. Now this thing is big, and this thing is badass. I mean, look at the size of this fucking thing. Oh my god. It's almost like the grenade launcher from Halo a little bit, if you ask me. I mean, it's this thing's a beast. You guys ready to build it? All right then, let's fucking do it. Hey guys, Bert here, and we're now done with the Garish D. Look at this big bad boy. This thing is mean, and I feel like I want to go wreck shit with this thing. It just begs the decision of like what do you shoot first? It is really, really, really cool. And the fun thing is with the Garrish D in the game, it has this nice Picatinny rail here. And as we know with a lot of my Picatinny rails, I always make sure that they actually work. So if I put this, which this is a rail attachment, I've used it before. If we take this and attach that, it now becomes the Judith, but also the Garrish D. I like it. We go ahead and we can activate. We got a nice laser sight, which is quite fun actually. Yeah. Probably don't want to go. Probably don't want to go around playing too much with this thing. Yeah, get in trouble. And then it's also got a very nice tactical light on it as well. So it's not too unlike a real tactical hand cannon. That being said, a lot of hand cannons, you're not going to use a big ass light on it. But you know what? I like this gun. It is very cool. The detail on it's very nice. On the other end, it's supposed to have the Hake symbol. I haven't gone and put it on there yet, and I'll get to that at a later point. But I wanted to go ahead and show this to you guys because this thing is just so cool. It really has great detail, and I can't get enough of the laser sight. I use the laser sight periodically on some of my Glocks, but for this thing, it just feels... God, I hope they add attachments that you can modify, kind of like a lot of other games, into the next Destiny, especially because the game really could use that, and that would just take it over the top for me. Special weapon modifications, obviously being able to customize like what it does is okay, but like adding special, cool, really intricate attachments would definitely be a step in the right direction. All in all, though, the Garrish D hand cannon from Hake. This thing's big, it's badass, and it begs the decision, what do we make next? We'll have to think on that. Now, on to our comment question. It comes from Bennyman13, and he says, do the bigger builds require more supervision? Well, it's a very good question, Benny. The bigger builds are actually a lot easier for me to do. If you look at something like this, it's got a lot of flat surfaces. It doesn't have a lot of really, detailed, super intricate detail like some of the smaller models, like the vintage Russian Soul here, the model that you guys saw me make with our first time-lapse video. This has a lot of very intricate detail, and it's small. And for me, these are actually a lot harder to make. They actually can take just as long, if not longer, to make than this. This took almost as long to make as this did. And when I make the smaller models, they're in a lot smaller detail. So it does take longer. I print them at a much smaller resolution, which obviously takes longer as well. So they do and they do not. It varies specifically on the model and how awesome we want it to look, and as well as how much detail it's got. So high detail, long time, small build, large build, not as much detail, and a very short build time. So more material generally, but longer and more difficult to work on for these. So I hope that answers your question, Benny. If anybody else has a cool question that they'd like to ask, feel free to send me a comment and I'll get back to you guys. And as always, like, favorite, subscribe, and I am Bert from Pixel Armory, and I will see you guys later.